Back again, Wash Up Walk-Ons podcast. Blessed to be joined by Deontae Craig. The W has joined the show. Let's go. Where did that happen? Where did that start, man?
The first one was Michigan State 2 seasons ago. We started off that season 3-0, beat Iowa State, had a couple dominant non-conference wins. Week 4, we went on the road to Penn State, whiteout game, prime time, got our butts kicked. So had an opportunity to come back home the following week. Wore the blackout unis, playing a good Michigan State team. It was a really, really hard fought game. So I think that like outro video, highlight tape, whatever, I think you saw a lot of emotion from a bunch of guys, just coming back from the beatdown that we took the week earlier and, figuring out a way to come out with a W and beat a really good team. So I don't know, the camera just found me. That was just natural. Like I hadn't planned it or anything. It just kind of one thing led to another. And then next thing you knew, like it was getting reposted everywhere. And Hawkeye Football posted a separate video. And then after every win after that, it was people were just running with it. So
I was going to say it stuck.
Yeah, it did for sure. It kind of fell off a little bit towards the end of this season. But like still, like even when I was walking into the games or if I'd run into people in public, like they throw up the W.
Would they really?
Yeah, it was cool. It was a thing for a little bit. So
I love that.
It was fun. I'm glad people caught on to it and the fan base had some fun with it.
It's a little more serious in the moment, but so this sounds like a much better idea now than it would during the season. But like, it would have been kind of a little bit of comedic relief after a loss to like to really cut the tension. If you were like real sad walking into the locker room and they got you just going like, yeah, we took the L.
Yeah, I maybe, but I don't know.
Hey, bro, I know at the time.
Yeah. After a loss, I'm pretty. I don't think too many people want to be around me.
No,
so I'll just leave it at that.
No, my wife still. You know what? Actually, it was to Penn State. It was to Penn State. Oh man, my senior year, we lost a bad ending. I don't know. You probably have seen the tape at some point when you were studying, but they drove the field on us.
Mm-hmm.
Amani Hooker.
Oh, was this what 2019 or
no? This was 2017.
Okay, this was it at Penn State or was it?
No.
Yeah, I know exactly. The last play of the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right over Hook's hands.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like 2 inches from tipping it, and if we tip this pass, it's game.
Yeah.
But they drove the field. They score a touchdown. Their quarterback, Trace McSorley, I don't know if he's still in the league or not. He punts the ball like just at midfield. They celebrate, and my wife still to this day is like, I've never seen you not want to be around like me or your family or anybody that bad. Like, and I was a long snapper, so if I took it hard, like, the other guys are taking it hard. So I totally understand that, being cool with throwing up an L after you just took an L it's not realistic, but it would have been kind of funny.
It would have been funny. It would have been Coach Parker. We would have had to hide it from him though.
Oh God. Bro. Man, you said the camera found you. I feel like the camera found you a lot. Like you seem like your energy. I don't know you. This is the first time we've ever talked in person, but I feel like you're an energy guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like in the heat of the moment, like during games and like practice and lift. I'm normally pretty laid back. I kind of try to reserve all that energy for like the post game, like the celebration. So that's why you kind of see that like outburst of energy after winning a game regardless of the score. Like it's hard to win, and you guys know like everything we put in on a day-to-day basis, week-to-week basis, like it's tough. So whenever you can win a game, and then that first W, like the blackout uniforms, like blackout in Kinnick, like it got no better than that. So I'm pretty reserved and laid back, but after games and when I'm out there on the field, like the expression, excitement you see, that's legit.
I completely understand the emotional part of what you mentioned coming back to that game specifically. I didn't plan on starting here either, but this is great conversation. The year before we lost to that Penn State story I told,
Mm-hmm.
we played Penn State at Penn State.
Yeah.
Similar to you guys. This was 2016. They dog walked us. I mean, it wasn't even close. Like it was like they were playing a D2 team that night. We got ran out the building in a whiteout. We got the full treatment, man.
Mm-hmm.
And turning point of the season. That next week is the week that we kicked Keith Duncan kicks the field goal to beat Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
In Kinnick. So,
KS
so
about that before.
Yeah, similar sort of situation where our backs were against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it was emotional to then come back and stand up and Michigan was number 3 in the country, I think. So, 12 opportunities every season. And it is like, you get very few chances to go show what you're working for all season long.
Yeah.
And it's just, it all comes out. It feels so good to win. You said how hard it is to win. You can tell me I'm wrong, but I think people don't quite understand how hard it is to win.
They don't understand. They don't. They just, I mean, that's the part, like, I think social media and media in general is that it's a blessing and a curse. Like, obviously you see the win, people are just assuming everything is flowing smooth on the inside, like guys are happy, like everybody's calm and everything's perfect. And then when you lose, now the sky is falling, like he doesn't need to be playing, he doesn't need to be coaching, blah blah blah. But like I think a lot of people get it confused and they think like when you win it's hard, but I feel like they get it confused with like some monumental, like, oh, it took all this and that, like all this different special stuff. But like it's literally just showing up and paying attention and going out and just competing your butt off. Like that's really what it comes down to. But yeah, man, it's a lot. I talk to my friends, like I'm not gonna put anybody on the spot, but like I talk to people who think like us football players are like spoiled and brats and like rotten. And I'm like, dude, you have like no idea what we go through on a day-to-day basis. Like even our off days aren't off days because we're still watching film, going to get treatment, like doing scouting on the other team. Like it's crazy. It's a lot goes into it, but at the end of the day, that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it worth it. Because you got 100+ guys doing the same thing, all bought into the same vision with you.
And to be fair, there's an amount of spoiling, right?
A little. Just a little.
But it's earned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
so, sure.
Yeah, yes, we get fed meals. Like, yes, there's a scholarship check. Yeah, all the down the line, right? Check. You can walk out of the complex with 6 protein shakes and a sandwich and all this stuff, right? But like, you don't just get that, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have to. There's work that has to be done on the other side of it to like be a part of it and still earn all that. So, and it's almost in a way like the way to buffer the fact that you basically have a full-time job in football and then like, the student part on top of it. So I totally understand. It's funny, and you may have friends or family like this too. Like you're getting ready for like, I don't know, Rutgers or somebody. And they're like, oh, you guys are so win this week, right? Like you guys, like this week ain't that hard. And you're like, okay, like what? No, that's not how it works.
It's tough. I think sometimes it's like human nature, like to get caught up in somebody's record. Like look at us this past year, like UCLA, we went out there and they were like 3 games under 500 at the time and like kicked our butts. Like the score was closer than what the film and the stats from the game said. And I think our coaches, that game was standing, like our coaches do a good job of giving each opponent the proper respect, and trying to instill that in us. But at the end of the day, it's on us, and I think that's just a credit to the guys we have in the building that, like, regardless of who we're playing, like we just treat it like it's a national championship. Like there's no big games. Like, obviously there's games when you get towards the end of the season that mean a little bit more, but at the end of the day, it's one game at a time, and everybody's a tough opponent because everybody's putting in just as much work as you are to try to win a game. So definitely can't look past anybody, especially in the Big Ten. So
the UCLA game is an interesting example. I have a feeling that y'all on the inside knew just how difficult that game was going to be.
Yeah, it was, Eric Bieniemy, long Super Bowl champion, offensive coordinator, coached arguably one of the top 2 greatest players in the NFL. And then the atmosphere, like we're going across basically 2 time zones, playing a Friday night game, a short week of prep, and you're in a historic stadium. So like, as much as people might overlook that, like, I'm not gonna lie, like looking back, I was like starstruck. I'm like, wow, like we're really playing in the Rose Bowl. Like that was crazy. Like from being from Indiana, like you grow up watching the Rose Bowl every New Year's Day, and that was definitely like a bucket list stadium that I wanted to play in. But I mean, UCLA, like ton of great athletes. They have a former player as their coach, so that program's, he's instilled what it means to be a Bruin out there. But yeah, we knew, regardless of what the outside world was saying, like we knew it was going to be tough, logistically and schematically. And I mean, it's sometimes
they were rolling at the time.
Yeah,
too.
we caught them. I think they were like 3-6 or 2-6 or something like that, and then they won.
I think they won out.
I think they won out and went to a bowl game, and they like went on the road, beat Nebraska. I can't remember when they played Rutgers, but I think they
played Oregon tough.
Yeah, they played Oregon. Like everybody they played was a pretty tight game. So sometimes you just take one on the chin, and unfortunately that night we took a big one on the chin. So
yeah. Happens. I also took one on the chin. Compliments of Christian McCaffrey in the Rose Bowl. So it's all right.
It's funny. That was before I took my official visit here in June of 2019, and obviously take away like the recruiting and like that stuff. My only impression of Iowa football was that 2015 Rose Bowl game. And like I remember I was sitting in my living room watching it, and like first play, I think you guys were running Bears or Bison, one of the two, and somebody got out of their zone and
gone
straight to the house.
Gone, bro. That you've never felt the wind get sucked out of a place so quick, man. It was that was tough. Cool place to play though, man. Like it is a sick place. And I totally understand. Like it is tough. Did you guys find that it's hard to explain like the time travel thing?
Mm-hmm.
Time travel? Sorry.
That is a weird way to say it. Yeah. Deontae and the boys got in a spaceship and time traveled to California.
That'd be cool.
Friday night, it was just a weird situation of like, it just throws off the routine, and it's just everything's just a little bit different. And when it's 1% different for everybody, that's all it takes. Like it really is that.
And plus, I think we're a little bit comfortable because KF, and obviously, credit to him, we were obviously really thankful, but all the seniors had like the reclining seats.
No,
on the plane when we flew out there,
bro.
So we were like laid back, like blankets, pillows, like all kinds of stuff. So I don't think I'm wrong in saying there was definitely and plus like you're flying in, you see the Hollywood sign, you see crypto, like Dodger Stadium, like there's definitely a sense of comfortability there for sure. So you never want to make excuses, but that was I think there was a reason like only a handful of Big Ten teams came from the Midwest and went out West Coast or vice versa.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a coincidence. Only a handful won those cross country games.
I don't remember looking at the end of the year record on those travel games, but early on, or like halfway through, it was something.
It was rough. Yeah.
It was bad. It was like
It was an 0-9 start from
I
time
think it
zone
was like
travel.
2-14 at one point. The team that was traveling the 2 time zones was 2-14.
Yeah, I think Minnesota and Indiana both went out to UCLA and won.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know UCLA came to Nebraska and won.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 3 I can think of.
It might be it. Might be it. I mean, Ohio State went to Oregon.
Yeah, they ended up losing that. Oh, Oregon came to Wisconsin later in the season and won.
Okay.
So there's 4. But Washington came to Penn State, lost. They came here, lost. Went to Indiana, lost. Maryland went to Oregon, lost.
You got a good memory.
Yeah,
a
lot of film.
Didn't Washington play Rutgers or something like 6 overtimes on a Friday night or something crazy?
Yes, Rutgers went to Washington, I believe.
Okay.
Wow, that's crazy.
It doesn't matter. But
how'd you mentioned the recruiting process a little bit? How did KF, the squad in Iowa City, get Deontae Craig in the black and gold?
So originally, because Iowa came into the picture kind of late, and I think Coach Bell and Coach Ferentz had a vision on how they wanted to recruit me, and that's ultimately like one of the reasons why it really stuck out here. From like the first text message, Coach Bell was like straight up. He was like, "Look, I'm not gonna offer you until I meet you in person and like get a chance to talk to you face to face." And I was like, "Okay, like I'm not really tripping." And that was like maybe like because he offered me my junior year, so that was like. Like maybe like May or so of 20
May or summer going into your junior year.
Yeah. They started recruiting me that following year. So I think it might have been like towards the end of 2018 was when I like first started hearing from them, and then got the offer in May. And then took my official in June. And it's crazy because for as long as like they made me wait, which again, like I didn't have a problem with because I wasn't trying to rush to make a decision anyway. I left my official and I was like, "Hey coach, like I'm ready to commit right now." Like there were a bunch of dudes on that were on the visit with me, all committed, and I was like, "Yeah, like this is where I want to be." But I took some time, slept on it, and a couple of days later, I hit him back and I was like, "Hey coach, like I think I need to take a break." And he was honest, like he was like, "Look, like I'm still gonna be looking, but we want you here and we'll respect your time and stuff." So a couple months later, it ultimately came down to Iowa, Indiana, and then Tennessee. And I at the time Tennessee was going through that scandal and with the coach and everything, so I didn't want to go that route.
Were you fed McDonald's while being recruited by Tennessee?
Nah, I wasn't.
You didn't get no McDonald's bag?
No, I wasn't fed McDonald's. But I won't go into detail, but looking back on it, I was So
yeah. All right. Hey, that's all we need to know.
So yeah.
Well, hey, before you continue real quick, I think I was unfamiliar with your game, bro. Like Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan.
Yeah.
All 3 offered you?
Yeah, I had.
And the Hawks brought it home?
Yeah, I had I think, when you get into recruiting, you find out a lot about people and yourself, honestly. I think now it's different. It feels weird saying it's different than when I was young because like it was literally only like 4 or 5 years ago, but now it feels like college football has totally changed from before I got into it. But I think like kids are just so obsessed with like the logo and the promises that come along with some of these coaches. And when you go on these visits, like you only see the good side of things. Where like,
of course,
like I had schools tell me like, look, you're our number one guy, and then 2 days later somebody else commits, and now I can come compete for a walk-on spot. So it's like, you find out real quick who's really interested and who's really invested, and Iowa just stayed consistent. They didn't, bug me. I mean, you hate to say it, but like some of these coaches out here just don't know when to quit. And
are they really annoying like that?
Yeah, it's there. I had a school that was recruiting me. Like every day they had a coach call me, and it was just like in rotation. And it's like, dude, like,
I say, are they running out of coaches at some point? Like, are they hiring people just to call you?
My day is like pretty consistent. Like, there's no reason you calling every day is going to rush me to make a decision. So, but yeah, Iowa gave me my space. They were available with questions and resources, and it just was consistent throughout, and I really appreciate that, and that stood out to my parents and everything. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of those offers were there, but I landed where I was supposed to, and Iowa was definitely the best decision.
Was there ever a moment in Iowa City where you thought, damn, I should have been a Buckeye? Or I should have been like, did you ever have one of those where did you ever second guess it?
Nah, I mean, I'm normally not the type. I try not to live with regrets. Obviously,
Sure.
Not every decision you're going to make is perfect. So at the end of the day, you got to live with what you decide. But I loved it there. Honestly, I love the coaches. I love the guys I got to play with. I love all the friendships and the people that I've made in my 5 years here. The grass ain't always greener. So I was fully invested, and every day I woke up, I was just focused on being the best Hawkeye I could be.
Do you get the sense now, older, wiser, you're now looking at potential at the next level, that other guys that go to other schools, from your area or whatever, and you get the sense, and again, biased guy asking another biased guy, that Iowa just does it differently than a lot of places?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, and I think it's hard for a lot of people. I think people see Iowa and they don't view us as like a top tier program, yet we're consistently a 10-win team. We consistently have first round picks, first team All-Americans. All Big Ten teams are flooded with Iowa players. Like, I don't understand why, but I mean, it takes a special type of person to come in here and wait your turn as a freshman, and be okay with only getting a few snaps a game your second or third year here, and finally when you're a senior or fifth year guy, like getting your opportunity of running with it. Like, I think sticking to that course stands out a lot more than jumping ship early and trying to go chase a check somewhere else. So I mean, you look at guys that come and go from this program, like, oh, the coach doesn't like me, coach this, coach that, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, what are you doing to make the coach feel that way about you? Like, I feel like people are too quick to just point the finger instead of like looking in the mirror and seeing how they can be better. But I mean, our coaches say it all the time. Like, Iowa's tough. Like, it's not supposed to be. We don't have the 4-2, the 5-star guys that can, go out there and do a bunch of crazy stuff that you might see on ESPN or SportsCenter or whatnot. But we got hard-nosed guys who come to work and, they know how to compete, and they just love to play ball.
It's the mannequin guys. KF always talked about it. When we played Penn State or Michigan, it's like, yeah, they're gonna look real good in the uniform.
Yeah.
Better than us. Wise words there from Deontae. Everybody listening right now. Gotta look in the mirror a little bit sometimes. Isn't that right, Grant? Sometimes it's about you.
It's hard to do. It's beneficial.
Everybody wants to play right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting time my freshman year. It's a bit of a crazy. I understand it. I came in 2013, and there was a couple guys in our class that had that mentality. Mm-hmm. One of them happened to be Desmond King, and he was right. Right, like every once in a while you get one.
Yeah.
Cooper Flagg, he's just that guy.
Yeah.
Most people aren't that dude. And
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I played with Dane Belton.
Yep.
I don't know if he started from day one, but towards the end of that 2019 season, he was starting. Tyler Goodson played with him. Dang, I'm forgetting a couple. Guys like Xavier Wampa, Cooper DeJean, like they were special teams guys, but still, like you guys know how huge that side of the football is for us.
Cooper's doing all right. Yeah. He's
you know what I mean? So yeah, so it's guys like Connor Colby who stepped in and played a little bit his freshman year.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously like you've achieved part of your dream. Like, you know, when you're playing ball in middle school, high school, like you hope you can get good enough to play at the college level. So Caleb Johnson coming in as a true freshman taking over, like that's what you want. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's no rush, especially when you're a young guy. Like, yeah, of course, if you're gifted enough to pick up on the playbook and physically ready, like the day you step on campus, and that's awesome. Like that coach deserves a raise. But at the end of the day, like it's not like you only get one chance to show what you can do. So it's a lot of kids want to jump in the portal and play right away, but it's like, dude, just stick it out. Like we got. Look at the Seth Bensons, the Jack Campbells, the Jay Higgins, like, you know, the Cooper DeJeans for that matter. Like he didn't even start he didn't even play like a lot on defense his freshman year. You know, it's stories like that make it worth it, and you know, give you that confidence that like all I gotta do is follow the blueprint and I'll be fine.
Yeah, it's just I get it. NIL and the portal makes it real easy, right? And I'm sure you've heard more stories than me and seen it firsthand. It's wild.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's just crazy to think that, like, I mean, you can go get a bag, right? And half of these guys, we never hear about them again.
Yeah.
They get paid. The school's pissed because they don't get what they paid for, and this guy just falls off the map.
It's on to the next. They find somebody else.
Yeah, like, and then, like, what if you just would have stayed and developed, right? I sometimes I question it. I don't know. Fort Wayne, Indiana, Culver Academies.
Yes.
It's almost my last name. You can switch that around to Culver Academies. Maybe I start that up here in Des Moines, Graham.
That'd be cool.
Was it always the dream? You mentioned, hey, you're a middle school kid. Like, hey, I want to be D1. Were you always a football guy? You play other sports as a young guy?
Yeah. So I've been playing football and basketball since I was like 3 or 4 years old. Growing up, like I wanted to be in the NBA. Like if you would have asked me back when I was like 8 or 9 years old, like I would have told you like I'll be playing in the NBA by the time I'm like 22, 23. And pretty much I got my first offer the summer before my junior year, and it was football, but I was still like, all right, I got one more summer of AAU basketball. Like I'm gonna give it everything I got, and I'm gonna try to get some offers. And sure enough, end of that, like I feel like I balled out too, but nobody came calling. And then the day before my junior year football game, Tennessee football called and offered me. And I was like, damn, yes, it's looking like it's going to be football.
It's going a different direction.
So offered me. The game was that next day. So I'm like, I got to go out and ball out. Like, people are going to be looking at me like, oh, he got an offer, blah, blah, blah. So went out, did my thing that Friday night. Next morning, Indiana offers me. Get off the phone like an hour later. Michigan State calls, offers me, and I'm like, yeah, it's time to focus on football. But I still played basketball just because it allowed me to like stay in shape, and I just love to compete. Like it would have killed me to sit in the bleachers watching like the basketball team play without me out there. Yeah. Plus, I mean, Iowa, if you look at the roster, like we got guys that are wrestlers, track guys, basketball, baseball, like all kinds of stuff. So I think all that translates, and I think the more you can do, the better they can all help. But yeah, the dream at first was basketball. Like my dad grew up playing basketball. All his brothers did too. And I definitely wanted to do that. But, I tell people all the time, like the more you can do, the more valuable you are. So fortunately I was able to be good at more sports than just one. And, now I can still chase my dream of being a pro.
I think we all wanted to be LeBron at some point.
I'm a Kobe guy, so that's that.
Oh, okay.
You could be. I feel like you could be both. I'm not. Maybe you can't. Maybe there's competing camp. We all wanted to be Kobe. I grew up obviously older than you, so I was you shoot the paper ball in the trash can. It was always Kobe, right?
Yeah.
I think people still do that though. I don't think that's like an age thing. Like I think there's. I guarantee you can go to a second grade classroom. You throw someone the paper rock or whatever. They'll yell Kobe. I think
they're not Grant. They're not yelling Kobe, bro.
What would they yell? They're not yelling like Devin Booker. Like that doesn't roll at all. Like why would they? That doesn't make any sense.
Delavadova.
It's Kobe and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's we always. I think Anna, that allure of the NBA is just something I think everybody thinks they're gonna hoop. But did you ever? You guys ever go run it at the rec?
Yeah, we did. We outside of this last year because it was kind of all of our last season, so we were trying to.
Right.
Keep the main thing. But yeah, so my COVID year, so 2020, all the indoor gyms were closed. Like they literally took the rims off. So like people couldn't go in there.
Crazy.
So we stayed in, was Peterson around when you were a freshman or
they were building it.
So yeah. That dorm behind Peterson. It's Reno or Slater, one of the two.
The two towers that were, Reno and Slater.
There was like an outdoor court right there. And we were playing outdoor pickup, like because we couldn't get into the gym. But then like as COVID started to go away and things were opening back up, like we were at the rec, we went to Field House. We were able to get in the Carver and play pickup a bunch of times in there. So
okay.
Yeah, it was a good deal. We got a lot of NBA wannabes on the squad. So
well, I was gonna ask, can you settle the debate? So we had Nick and Jay on the show. I need to know who is actually better between Jay Higgins and Nick Jackson. Like who's the better hooper?
Jay is better. All right. Okay. Nick surprised me. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think he was good at all, but we got out there. We were in Carver too, and he played pretty well, but I might be a little biased because me and Jay, we've hooped together since we were like second, third grade. So I've seen him ball for a long time. I only got to see a couple months of Nick hoop, but I'd have to go with Jay in that one.
Kevin, welcome to the show. I'm sure you're either working on solar energy or eating eggs. Our two sponsors tonight, presented by Eagle Point Solar and the Iowa Egg Council this month.
I was actually cooking my eggs with solar energy, and that's yeah.
Dude, how about that?
Yeah.
We'll take a quick moment to thank our sponsors before we get back to Deontae and introduce Kevin into the conversation. Eagle Point Solar, one-stop shop. They're the full gambit. They let me read it right off their website. Eagle Point Solar of Dubuque leads the way in solar installations in Illinois, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Their solar projects span a large range of applications, including municipal, commercial, residential, academic, agriculture. If there's a building, you can put solar energy on it, Deontae. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You can put it on a chicken coop if you want it, I'm sure.
I need to get some solar panels.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm saying. They're turnkey contractor. They're there from start to finish. They're going to educate you. They're going to take you through every step of the process. And if they can save you money, they're going to. EaglePointSolar.com. As of now, reading this, you can get the $200 Amazon gift card for doing their free energy solar analysis deal, and you can get that at EaglePointSolar.com. And as Kevin said, he was cooking his I don't know how he's doing it. That'd be a cool contraption. But
do you think you can use that Amazon gift card to buy $200 worth of eggs?
You could buy $200 worth of eggs, Kevin, at not from the Iowa Egg Council, but you're supporting the Iowa Egg Council, farmers across the state. I bought eggs today, and the prices are going down. Now, people seem to think it's absurd to spend $3 on a breakfast, even if you had 5 or 6 eggs. I got 18 today for 6. That means it's like back down to 35, 33 cent per egg range. It's good enough for me. I'm sure Deontae here had plenty of eggs during his time in the career.
I didn't realize that's like a huge thing right now. Like you obviously like are online and like you see memes and like you see articles about it, but like I've been to Target. I went to I was just back in Indianapolis.
Can't find eggs.
Yeah, like I went to what's that place? I went to Trader Joe's. I went to a Waffle House and there was like
To buy eggs?
a little note on the menu, and it's like every dish that contains eggs, we have to do a 50-cent upcharge due to like a shortage.
Yeah.
Wow, like that's actually really going on right now. So
Real thing. What's the order at the Waffle House?
the sausage, egg, and cheese hash brown scramble, with a side of grits and 2 waffles.
Ooh,
There we go.
That's a heavy meal.
So
He's a big boy. You got to feed
All
himself.
right. You ever heard of the fantasy football punishment where the Waffle House challenge?
I've heard the punishments, but not the Waffle House.
So the Waffle House challenge is you got to spend 24 hours in a Waffle House, but you get to take off an hour for every waffle that you eat.
Oh, okay. I have.
So how long do you think it would take you before you're allowed to leave?
It's a great question.
All I'm eating
12
is-
waffles in 12
that's
hours
all you're eating.
is a pretty admirable goal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that the waffles all I'm eating. I don't have to eat anything else.
That's it.
No.
I
You get a
can,
coffee if you want. But
I mean, after about 4 waffles, you might want to eat something else, but you don't get to.
I could probably get. And does it have to be consecutive, or can I like eat one?
You can take as much time as you want. You're spending 24 hours there if you eat 0. You spend 2 hours there if you can eat 22 in 2 hours.
God, I would love to see someone do that.
I'm eating. I'm at least eating one.
I hope. I mean,
At
If-
least
if-
one every 30 minutes.
One every 30.
I'm at
Okay.
least getting one every 30 to 45.
Okay. So you're out in
30 minutes would be what, 12 hours?
yeah.
So 2
Right.
every hour. I'm getting all 24. Like that's
well,
You don't have to
no.
get all
You're gonna
24.
at some point you're not gonna eat all 24 because it's gonna take you. You're gonna knock off your time. So by the time you eat like even 10 of them, you're gonna have been there for like 3 hours probably.
you think so?
Bro, yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
So if you could eat 20 in 4
Yeah.
hours, then there's your 24.
Then you're done.
I'm
Or if you
probably
take
getting-
12
I'm probably
hours to eat 12,
like-
then you're done.
I'll give myself 12 to 14. 12 to 14.
Okay,
I'm
so
good.
you're gonna
That's
be
pretty
there.
good.
Yeah, it's tougher than people think. If you're ever bored, Deontae, just search it on YouTube. It's a fantastic watch.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
watch
people really start to hit the wall around 8 or 9
8 or
waffles.
9
those Waffle
waffles.
House waffles are, man, like that food is so simple, but it's like so good. I don't
It's
know.
good.
Every time, because they don't have it in Iowa. So
Mhm.
fortunately, we've been to Orlando twice, plenty of Waffle Houses, Asheville twice, plenty
Little
of Waffle
bull trip waffle. Yeah.
Houses.
You might have been to the exact Waffle House that Kevin went to. And the first time I ever met Kevin, we went to Waffle House in
Oh, yeah.
Nashville.
Mhm.
And then he just threw up for like 30 minutes immediately afterwards.
Yeah, it's like we got back to the hotel, and I think we were there for 30 minutes, and I started chucking them up.
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't eaten at all that day, so I think I had 2 meals plus like 3 waffles. And
The hotel we stayed at in Nashville, we stayed at like the Opryland. There's literally a Waffle House right across the highway.
oh, that's dangerous.
I can't lie though. 3 years ago, I think it is now, when we went, I went like 4 or 5 times. Had arguably one of the best games of my career, and this past year I went like 3 or 4 times. Had probably the best game of my career. So it goes together.
So I'm curious. When you got to get some of your buddies involved and franchise a Waffle House in Iowa City, because I think it do numbies.
I've been ever since 2022. I've been telling guys like, look, we're making all this money. Like
Can you imagine how many people come out of the bars and like, dude, let's go to Waffle House.
Oh my
need
God.
to do that. Like people will drive all the way up to Coralville to go to IHOP, but I'm like, dude, let's put our money together and open one right here in the Ped Mall. Like that will do.
It would crush, dude.
They put Pancheros out of business.
Literally.
Man, I'm hungry. Boys, I'm hungry talking about this now.
No disrespect to Pancheros though, because that's one of
Yeah,
my
they're
sponsors, so
they're goated. They're goated.
Pancheros. But Waffle House is it's up there. It's different. It's different.
Talking about all this waffles, eggs, like obviously you had to watch your body weight, maintain some serious mass. It says 249 on the roster, Deontae. What do you weigh? What do you weigh? It ain't 249.
So I played probably this past season. I played at like between 265 and 270.
Okay.
I did pro day and I weighed in at 278.8.
Boy.
Yeah, for the next level, just stuff I've been hearing, like teams want me to put on weight. So now I am currently on the road to like 285, 290.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But
Have you been talking to coaches much throughout the process or scouts? So
yeah, back in January I went to a Senior Bowl game. It's called the Tropical Bowl down in Orlando. And I met with like 15 teams, pretty like surface level. I had a couple that like wanted to talk X's and O's, but for the most part, like outside of that, and then just high and by to some scouts at pro day. It's been pretty chill, pretty laid back. My agent is hearing some good stuff though, so just keeping fingers crossed, one step at a time. Like this process it's stressful, but it's fun. So you just gotta try to enjoy it, and like I said, just have fun with it. Because if you stress yourself out, you go crazy.
Absolutely. So I'm curious. In those conversations, are they seeing you more as like a 4-3 end or a 3-4 stand up type guy? Like, what do you?
So yeah, it's kind of from what I've heard. I'm getting the consensus that teams want me to kind of play 3 tech, and inside, which I mean I don't mind, because if you look at my film during my time at Iowa, like I was a guy that I played nose, I played 3 tech, I played crash in, I played heavy 5. Like I prided myself in knowing every spot up front, because I like staying on the field, and that's an easy cheat sheet to being able to play a lot of snaps and be out there and try to make a difference. So I mean, I think just based off like my testing numbers and stuff, it would make sense for me to kind of make that transition. But hopefully I can be in a situation where I can still be versatile and show off my athleticism and my football ability.
Totally, man. Yeah, I was just curious because I like you said, played a lot of different positions on the line. I could see you playing either or up in the next level. Like, I never would have thought that we'd see like Anthony Nelson standing up and dropping back into coverage, but here he is, and I think he had a pick last year too.
Yeah, he just signed another extension this offseason.
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing all right.
Yeah,
a lot of Hawkeyes just got paid.
Yeah, for sure.
Hard to throw over Anthony Nelson. He's like a damn building out there.
And Coach Bell said he had the best pad level he's ever seen, and he's one of the tallest guys he's ever coached. So that says a lot.
If you would have been around Anthony, frustrating guy as a fellow athlete, like off-season competition type stuff.
Yeah,
frustrating guy to go against, because he was just better than you at everything.
Yeah.
I mean, when he got there, he ran with the skills. Now he was only 240, 250 maybe at the time, but he was running like a deer with the skill position, making skill times.
That's how I felt. You talk about just a guy that's naturally gifted and better than you at everything. That's how I feel about Cooper DeJean. Video games,
really?
He gamer.
Just every time I've seen him, we've got some guys on the team like TJ Hall and Deshaun Lee. He transferred now, but LaShawn Williams, the old running back, like we got some pretty competitive gamers on the team, but I haven't seen any of them see Cooper. Like maybe they beat him, but every time I'm there, all I know is Cooper normally wins.
So is he like one of those annoying dudes that's like it's not his fault, but it's just annoying that he's good at everything? Like, dude, are you bad at anything? It's like
okay, you're in the dorm with him. He beats you 35-0 in Madden. So you're like, all right, let's go play pickup. He's running, jumping, dunking, shooting from half court. And then we go out to practice, and he's getting 80-yard pick sixes. And then he goes to the game, birthday Super Bowl first pick against Patrick Mahomes
So dumb.
touchdown. Like, it's like, dude, like the stars must have been aligned when you were born. Like,
do y'all ever think about that? Like, he really is him, though. You know?
I know, like it's crazy. Like he's like, I look at not just him, but like guys like a Jack Campbell, like coming from Cedar Falls, Iowa, like turning himself into a top 20 pick. Like it's crazy. But
you know, again, Jack's gonna be the governor of Iowa someday. You know that?
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind, and it wouldn't surprise me if he came back to be the linebackers coach once Coach Wallace was gonna hang it up.
That could happen too.
him or Seth, one of the two. It wouldn't surprise me if they came back to coach the linebackers one day.
Talk to me about KB and Seth and all the defensive coaches. What's their lasting impact on you as you head out the door?
Man, I love them. Starting with KB, just because that's the guy that's in my room and the one I built pretty much the close relationship with. Like, he's one of the most like fantastic people I've ever had the opportunity to meet. Like the way he talks and the way he teaches, and he's like almost like a father figure to us. Like, I feel like he teaches D-line and like he controls the room like it's first period, like you're going to class, and then
Mr. Bell,
the chemistry that he has with Coach Neiman and how they bounce off of each other and how they work together to always put us in a great position out there on the field. Like it's definitely special, and both of them I've had tough conversations with, like I've celebrated with, like you ride the roller coaster when you come to Iowa. So I'm definitely fortunate that I got a chance to build with both of them for the whole time I was at Iowa. And then, Coach Wallace, Coach Parker, all the GAs that help out. Like, man, I think they really set the tone for what it means to play defense here. Like, during the off season, you see them, they're visible, like they're shooting the shit with us. Excuse my language.
You're on the right show.
We're sitting in the All-American room eating with them and everything, but they do such a good job of when it's time to go. Like, they're so laser focused, they don't really give you any other choice but to match that level of intensity, or they're going to leave you behind. So those guys, like, they keep it real. I know I can go talk to them. I have went and talked to them about everything other than football, and they've been so receptive. And every time I go back, it's awesome. Like I love those guys, and it's another special thing about Iowa. Like, coming into this back in 2020, like I knew I was going to have a chance to grow and build connections with everybody on that staff. Obviously we've had a couple people come and go, but for the most part, like 90% of that staff is still exactly the same from when I got on campus. And that's really, really unique and special. And, they've taught me a lot. And, I think it's helped me get to being the football player that I am right now.
Has, from a player's perspective, Coach Wallace got that promotion to assistant head coach last year. Has he kind of has anything changed from your perspective and how he goes about his day-to-day responsibilities or his role with the team?
Yeah, I think, no discredit to him, but I think that's what makes our coaching staff so unique. Like, everybody, I think they saw that and expected this huge change in his behavior and how he did things. But I just think all of our coaches work so hard. Like, if you were a stranger coming into the building without the assistant coach name tag, you wouldn't be able to tell who was the assistant coach. Like, just the way they lead us, they coach us, they get us prepared for every possible situation. Like, everybody does their job and then some. Obviously it was cool seeing him go out there as the head coach for us this first game this past season. And
I already forgot about that. Yeah,
hearing him get the national TV interview. But if he is to be the coach one day, I trust me, Iowa's going to be in a great spot, and I know he'll lead the program if that's what he chooses to do. But I know he loves coaching the LBs and spend the majority of his time working with defense. But like I said, we could have put that assistant coach tag on anybody. Like all of our coaches are more than deserving of that, and I think that's what makes it cool.
How does Seth Wallace pregame speech compare to a Kirk Ferentz pregame speech?
A lot more cursing. But
I love that.
The message is consistent.
Get your pads down.
Yeah, I think he's himself, and I think him, Coach Parker, like all those coaches, like they're not going to change for anybody, and that's really cool. So I think that's why it flowed so well when he had to step in for that week or so. He wasn't worried about being Coach Ferentz. He wasn't worried about being anybody but himself, and he excelled. Like he did a really good job, and we were definitely happy for him. We had a lot of water bottles being thrown around after that win. So I know he enjoyed it, and like I said, he's definitely earned it.
Undefeated.
Oh yeah, he is 1-0.
Undefeated.
I'm gonna let Grant hop in here with his question. I'm sure he's got a couple burning. He's known for the great questions. I don't want to hype him up too much, but I have one more. I'm always curious what these last couple months have been like prepping for the NFL, because Kevin and I will go to our grave saying that this was the best 3-4 months of our life. Now it was highlighted by that spring of 2018. Our draft prep was also the spring that Fortnite was at its peak popularity.
Yeah.
So bro, we would wake up late, go train at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever it was, come home, eat lunch, and then either play Fortnite or watch Netflix for like 10 hours.
Yeah.
And then wake up and do it again the next day. And that was the same thing for like 3 or 4 months in a row. What's it been like training for the league and doing this process?
It's literally what you just said. So I've been training up in Minnesota. It's a spot called Training House right outside of Minneapolis.
Okay.
Shout out Bill Well and Eric Perkins and my crew up there. Love you guys. But yeah, I've been up there. Cold as heck. Like I think it gets cold here, but it's like that dry cold up there where that air is just it just flows right through you. It feels like. But yeah, so typical schedule. I normally wake up around 6:30. Like I have my dog up there with me. Take him outside, let him use the bathroom. First workout is like we rotated, so we did like 40-day, and then we did like COD, so 5-5 L drill, and then Monday would be leg day, Tuesday upper body, and then same vice versa. So 7:30 to about 9 was the first workout. Get off our feet for a little bit. The facility had everything: PT, athletic trainers. We had like full recovery room. We had Pilates studio, like food, all kind of stuff. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, we'd have like position work. So that was normally like around 10:30 or 11 for about an hour or so. And then 12:30 we would lift. So like I said, it just depends what the day was. It'd be lower body, upper body. So then I normally get out of there around like 3 or so, take my meals home, and then yeah, like you said, either YouTube, playing the game, watching Netflix, like sitting there with my dog, like about 9-10 o'clock, lay down, go to sleep, wake up, do it all over again. So but our schedule was cool. Like Wednesdays was like an active recovery kind of day. So we had like Pilates, we did boxing, we did all kinds of mobility stuff. Saturdays we'd have a pool workout. But yeah, I mean it's
no school.
Yeah, no school for sure. That's so nice. But we had a couple grad student guys.
Okay.
From because we had guys from SDSU, NDSU, a bunch of Minnesota guys. I don't want to forget anybody. Rutgers O lineman, Connecticut O lineman. Sorry guys if you see this. I'm sorry if I'm.
They won't. We're not that important.
But yeah, so we had a fun group of guys. The trainers actually said we were like the closest group that they've had. so it was
good.
Fun. they definitely made it worth coming into the building every day and putting in the hard work. But yeah, like you said, it was definitely monotonous. A lot of times where you're just staring at the wall, just trying to kill time and until the next workout. But hey, that's if you want to be great, like greatness is boring. So you gotta stick to it and do what you gotta do to get what you want.
I'm curious if you talked to any of the SDSU guys about our incoming transfer at quarterback.
Yeah, so there's two big topics of discussion with them. They love to live in woulda, coulda, shouldas, referring to our 2022 game with them.
Oh, sure.
But
all timer, by the way.
Literally, that's what I'm saying. But it's like I was out there, and it's like being out there. Like, yes, the score was closer than what it should have been, but there was no pressure. Like
they weren't scoring. They weren't going anywhere.
We weren't worried about them scoring, but their comeback is like, it wasn't our best game. Well, I'm like, it wasn't our best game. It was far from our best game either.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
touche. But yeah, they Jared DePriest, Adam Bach, a D lineman and a linebacker, like they had nothing but great stuff to say about Mark. And I got to send Mark a little encouraging video from Jared's Snapchat. So and then I got to meet him here before Pro Day too. So it seems like a great guy. Obviously his resume speaks for itself. So I'm obviously excited to get him here, and it'll be a fun little competition between him and Sully to see who can lead us out there this fall.
That will be exciting. G-Bone, what do you got?
Hey, well, Deontae, this is we were talking about it earlier. I know you love basketball or whatnot. We don't get a lot of hoop stock on her, so I just wanted to talk some NBA with you for a little bit.
Do it. I love talking. I don't know if you guys see my Twitter or not, but I
got it right here. That's why I wanted to ask real quick.
Get my name out there. So I love talking hoops. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're a Laker fan, it appears, right? So I'm from Colorado, so I'm a Nuggets fan. So I have my own opinions about the Lakers and whatnot. But starting with you're a little bit upset at LeBron right now. You're not loving what's going on. Did you not like the Bronversation on Pat McAfee? You didn't like it.
I just think I see both sides of the argument. It's like on one hand, from LeBron's perspective, like you look at. Like, I know he probably tries really hard to separate son from teammate, but it's like, at the end of the day, if something pops off, like, that's my son, but first and foremost for anything. So I definitely get it. Like, you turn on TV and dating back to even before he made his college decision, like before he had to deal with all the hard stuff, people were talking and giving their 2 cents about what he could be, this and that. So I get you want to like kind of shield him from that and, alleviate some of that from him. But on the flip side, LeBron, when you come out and say before your son's declared for the draft, he's better than half the dudes in the league, and like if you want me draft my son, like I'll come wherever, just draft my son, blah blah. Like you're inviting negative attention if he doesn't pan out to be what you claim, which is again, you're a dad, like you're supposed to hype up your kids, like regardless of what they're doing. But I think you also have to be ready for the repercussions just in case they aren't at that level right away. So I think the approaching Stephen A at the game, like in the middle of a game, like I think that was a bit immature, but at the end of the day, like that's LeBron. Like when you get LeBron, you get cameras, you get media, you get attention, you get that type of stuff. Like, and he's not dumb. Like he's calculated. Like everything he does, I feel like has a meaning to it. But I also understand Stephen A's side, like coming out, because at the end of the day, he felt like somebody was trying to come for his reputation, and like if anybody felt that way, like you would step up and say something. So the LeBron conversation, I didn't like him calling out Wendy. Because I thought
that was really weird.
Yeah, I tune in to like First Take, and like back when Skip and Shannon Undisputed was a thing, like I watched that every morning. Like, so when I tweet, I'm not just a guy that's like putting out false and like I'm actually tuned in and paying attention and doing my own research. So I thought that was kind of bogus because I like Wendy and like I think these dudes forget like these people have jobs for a reason. Like they didn't make it to where they are just by making stuff up. Like, you know, there's a reason.
Wendy's got a great reputation.
That's what I'm saying. There's a reason why they report the stuff they report when they report it, and then when it comes out, it's normally true. You know what I mean? So,
and if anything, Wendy is spinning stuff for LeBron.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's one of his biggest supporters, and I think just getting caught up in this back and forth, like LeBron hasn't hit a three. I don't know. I couldn't watch the game last night because I was at like a little birthday party thing. Plus March Madness was on. But before last night, I don't think LeBron hit a three in like 4 games. But like you're doing sit downs and stuff like, and you're throwing lazy passes, like giving up wide open threes. It's like, yeah, I was a bit frustrated, but at the end of the day, it's LeBron, so we know he can turn it on whenever he wants to. So I'm just hoping he's getting it all out now. So come April, we can make this playoff push and go for the ring.
Yeah. No, I like you saying too, and if you're tweeting out the NBA takes that you're like tuned into the stuff because it's actually the opposite of what I do. I just throw out random stuff until something sticks with no research done at all. So I appreciate you being upfront and honest about that. I asked we had Joe Evans on here like a year ago. I know he's a big Laker fan too. So I was curious. Do you feel like bubble championship was a little bit Mickey Mouse? Do we agree on that? Just like a tad bit. I'm not saying 100%, just a little, just a little bit.
I don't agree, one, because a lot of people like to use that to discredit LeBron specifically. I feel like, and stay with me, if that was any other team that would have won that championship, it would have been celebrated just like every other championship.
100% correct. Like, I no doubt, yes.
If it was a LeBron-attached team, I feel like it gets torn down. But I'm like, dude, every other team got the same, like 6 month, 5-6 month break. Like every other team had to stay on campus every day.
Except for what's his name who went to Magic City.
Oh yeah, the Clippers. Every other team had to eat the box meals or whatever they were getting. Every other team had the same testing protocol. Every other team played every other day. Like I don't understand how he gets discredited for that, but I mean, if you think about it, that's like the purest form of hoops. Like no fans, no travel. True. You're just at an AAU tournament pretty much for a couple months, like hooping with your boys. Like, I mean, people can take credit away from it all I want to, but you know, that's as great as LeBron's life is. That's the part that sucks. Like he can't win. Yeah, if he loses, how did he lose with no fans and no travel? But then when he wins, look at the circumstances. Like that was an easy for him. Like he got a break, didn't have to travel, all that stuff. So it is what it is, but it counts in my book just like every other time.
No, and then I mean I agree that like I'm not even really a LeBron hater. It's kind of a bit just like giving LeBron crap. And I don't know how it came to be. That's just what I've always done. But like if the Magic won that championship for some reason, I would have said it was probably the greatest championship ever. But, but because it was, or even like the Nuggets got to the conference finals that year, especially if it was the Nuggets, I would have said it's probably the greatest run anyone's ever had if it was in the bubble. But because it was LeBron, I have to push my own agenda on there.
Makes sense. I got it.
But I'm curious too. Who you got winning MVP this year?
MVP.
That's the big debate going on right now.
It's really tough because.
And I will not take it personally.
It's tough because like I played. I'm only 6'3". I played 1 through 5, but like my main position, I played in the post. So I get like Jokic is unreal. Like he's hands down, like head and shoulders above anybody else on the planet right now. Like he's easily the best player in the world. Like as a center, like averaging like 32, like 11 rebounds and like 11 assists. Like I've never seen anybody like him, but you know, it just depends on what they're going to use for the criteria. Like if you want to give it to the best player, then LeBron should have like 12 MVP trophies. Michael Jordan should have like 10, 11, 12 MVP trophies. Kobe should have like 7, 8, 9, 10 MVP trophies. But look at Shea and building off of what he did last year, like he's making last year look like it was a down season compared to what he's doing this year. And he's got them in first. I think they have the best record in the league now because I think the Cavs have lost like 3 or 4 straight. Like I think it's his award to lose. I think it'll be close. I don't see an NFL MVP situation happening where like everybody thinks it's one person that it comes out being another, but I think Shea's definitely earned it. Sure. But yeah, Jokic is like right there. But if I had to vote today, I'd give it to Shea.
No, even a Nuggets fan, I expect Shea to win the award. Like I think he's going to end up winning it.
So I was like I said, I was up in Minnesota and I went to watch when they played up here right before All-Star break, and it's like that dude makes the game look so simple. Like he's just out there jogging, just moving through space, like getting wherever he wants to. And you look up, and it doesn't even seem like it, but you look up, he's got 40 points, and there's still like 8 minutes left in the game. It's like some dudes make the game look so easy. Like you got guys like Jason Tatum, he gets a lot of hate, but he is arguably like the top 5 player in this league. Like I don't understand why people hate on him and disrespect his game, but like I love watching the NBA. Like my favorite player right now is Steph Curry. I love watching him play. But I'm a Laker fan. Kobe's my guy. Yeah. So when it comes down to it, like I want to see the Lakers raise the Larry OB.
Yeah. So then my last thing then here before we let you go is you mentioned Kobe guy, you like Steph. I just want to hear your all-time starting 5. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, I think this guy's good. It's just like if you had to pick a starting 5. Like who are these are Deontae Craig's guys. Starting 5.
Starting 5.
If you want, and I'll allow you to have a 6-man if it gets really contentious.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. I'm going Steph at the point.
Okay.
This is tough. Steph at the point. I'm going Kobe at the 2.
Okay, that's good. If you're debating putting Scalabrine in there, I'd say embrace.
If he doesn't use Dirk Nowitzki, I'm gonna.
Embrace those.
Yeah. Kobe at the 2. I'm going Bron at the 3.
Okay, reasonable.
At the 4, this might surprise you, but I'm going Dr. J.
Oh, I did not expect that at all.
And then at the 5, I'm going Shaq. And my 6th man. Oh, God, this is tough.
You're gonna do it?
I haven't even named LeBron or MJ yet.
Did you just say LeBron at 3?
LeBron at the
3. LeBron 3. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So
probably should put Michael Jordan at the 6.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Bring him off the bench at least.
You really like?
Okay, wait. Go back. So I'm going Steph, Kobe, LeBron.
This will heavily. This is all the NFL coaches are watching this. By the way,
this determines if you get drafted or not.
Steph, Kobe, LeBron.
Okay.
I have to put Shaq. Like Shaq's the most dominant big man. I have to put him, and then hate me, but I'm going Wilt at the 5. Wilt Chamberlain, and then Jordan's my 6th man. I always say that because I feel like Jordan and Kobe can be interchangeable, but I'm a Kobe guy, so I'm giving him the nod.
Okay, there we go. I can tell that really pains you.
Kevin a lot.
It's tough. Yeah, it pains me leaving MJ out the starting 5, but like, come on, I got shooting with Steph and the facility.
Well, you got it all. It's those guys are like top.
Kobe got that killer instinct. I got LeBron, who can also run point, rebound, facilitate, defend. Shaq, you get it to him down low like nobody can guard him. He's rebounding everything. And then Wilt is literally a cheat code. Like I can pencil in 40 and 20.
Do you think the 100-point game's real?
Still no footage of the 100-point game.
I said, do you think it's real?
I don't think it's real because I
don't
find
either.
it crazy that we can find footage of some of the stuff that comes out on social media, but nobody has footage of the 100-point game. All we have is a picture. So
here's what I know is that over the last 70 minutes, Deontae has not stopped smiling this entire time, and I can feel the infectious energy. I think any team, I can't imagine he wasn't a pleasure to be around for the last 5 years in Iowa City, and I think any team that gets this guy in a couple of months is going to be pretty happy they did. Locker room dude, and I also, after the last 10 minutes of conversation, Deontae, cannot wait for you to be on some NBA talk show someday, or maybe have your own basketball podcast, because I think you do well there too.
No, I appreciate that. That's the plan. That's why after my playing days are over, I wanna get into that type of stuff. So I graduated with sports studies degree, and I minored in communications and media management. So
there you go.
Like I said, I look up to guys like Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp and Charles Barkley and Shaq, and I love that
that CNC
took it from the playing field, and now they're having success in the other realm too. So plus I want to be an advocate, for the players and share my experience and do what I can to help grow the game. So
well, I think the listeners will have enjoyed this. We did exactly what we wanted to do, to tell more of your story and more about who you are. Thank you so much for giving us the time, man. It was a pleasure. We wish you the best of luck in the next couple months. Big time.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for being patient with me, and
you're good.
Thank you.
You're good. Shout out to Eagle Point Solar and the Iowa Egg Council once again for sponsoring the show this month. We'll be back again in a few days with another episode. Until then, eat your eggs. See you then.